Hey guys, I'm doing a full Tranny service, filter, oil, gasket around, like a normal vehicle. I didn't see anybody having a video on it, on a CVT Tranny. It's a 2009 Mitsubishi Lancer. I went to AutoZone, Napa, and everywhere and could not find, well, I guess Advanced Auto had it. Advanced Auto is the only one that has the filter. Get whatever numbers you want off there. It's almost 30 bucks and you gotta pay for shipping if they don't have it in the store. That's the filter. Yes, you should be using Mitsubishi oil, but this, you're supposed to put, I was told 5 quarts in it. But the original stuff is Mitsubishi right there. And it's recommended use for it. So, you know what? That was $5 a quart because they had a sale going on. That is the extremely big gasket for my transmission. I've already been under there and looked at it. Get the numbers off you want. This was about 13 bucks. And my ice cream maker. It's that shape. 18 holes, I think it is. And yeah, I'm probably gonna put some RTV sealant on it because it's just a felt gasket. At least it didn't cost that much. Okay. I'm gonna show you where the transmission is, I guess, and everything. This is my CVT. This is a 2009 Mitsubishi ES Sport. I don't really see the Sport in it, but my transmission is on the driver's side. And yes, I'm missing paneling under here. I just bought this, but I can do it without jacking it up. There's your transmission, all the bolt holes. There's 18 of them, I just counted. There's a drain plug, and it looks like there may be a magnet in there. I won't know until I get it off, but it's a 19 millimeter, the drain plug. I'll get to the other ones. I already broke it loose. Wish mine looked a little bit better. I spray it with WD-40. Says it holds 5 quarts, hopefully, because this is only like a 4-quart pan. But that is your engine. Don't drain that thinking it's the tranny. And yeah, get a towel and everything. It's supposed to be green if it's original, or if they used Mitsubishi stuff. Mine looks like motor oil, so I'm assuming they used the stuff I bought. But yeah, take that out and then I'll get to the bolts. I already got it drained out. It actually filled up this pan once to about a finger width down, and that much more. I think it probably uses more than 5 quarts. Mine looks like motor oil, that's why I'm changing it. And no, this is not the engine. Now I'm going to take out the 18 bolts, clear around, clear down, and it turned out to be a 10 millimeter wherever I put it. But the drain plug was a 19. I put it back in so it ain't dripping everywhere, and then once I get all the bolts around it, I'll drain it one more time because trannies will drain forever. But yeah, take out the 18 bolts. Okay, I got all the bolts out, almost all of them. Always leave 2 on one side. I got one there and one right there, because you may have to pry on that. And if you take them all out, when you pry on it, the whole thing will just fall on the ground. If you pry it like I did, which I didn't even pry it, I took out the bolt and it slowly did it. Slowly came off the tranny. But that'll keep it so it just pivots, and then it'll drain out the rest of the fluid, and then you can take it out. Most people should already know that. But I had a problem. They're really tiny bolts. All of them came out really nice. And then the one right here, mine was really rusty, but I WD-40'd them a couple days in advance, but I had one that broke off. It cost about 60 bucks to re-heli coil it. I don't really have the time today, so I'm going to put a bunch of RTV sealant on it. I'll show you that. But I think it'll hold on there for at least 2 days, because I didn't really expect to do that today. But it's 18 bolts, and just drain out a little bit more, and I'll show you once I get it off. Okay, I got it all off. And if you go to Advanced Auto, they give you the right filter. This is what AutoZone's going to sell you. That is not the filter for mine. Other CVT trannies may be different. I know, I gotta take that back. I know there's different trannies they put in the Evos and the other 2.0 that's supercharged, and then they got like a 2.3 or something. This is a 2.0 non-turbo. Barely can go over 55 when the AC kicks on. But there's nothing sporty about this. But got the pan off. I have 2 magnets. I don't know what original is supposed to be. There's no gasket on this, but there is on there. I'm just gonna clean that up in the parts cleaner. But there's what it looks like underneath. There's a gasket on there. I need to scrape off. Oh, that's it's hard to look through the camera and do this at the same time. I think there's a gasket on there. It looks like it. Yeah, it's been on there a while. I'm gonna have to scrape a lot. I'll show you the scraper I use. There's what it looks like underneath. There's the filter, and that's the one I showed you in the box earlier. That's from Advanced Auto, so they sold me the correct one so far. It looks like the same shape. Looks like there's a bolt right there. Looks like there's 3 bolts. Most likely when you pull that out, a lot of fluid's going to come out because that's a filter and it probably pushes up in there. Make sure when you pull it out, yeah, I'm talking about you, start leaking. When you pull that out though, maybe an O-ring and it may be stuck way up in the housing, way up in there. Just make sure it comes out with it. I'll show you. Sorry for all the different angles. Using my phone like most people that make videos when doing cars, because whatever. There was the O-ring. Come on, focus on it. You guys, whatever. You can see there we go. You can see that. That may stay up in there. Some cars it's thicker and it's like ribbed and all that. About another cup full of oil came out when I took that out. And it's 3 10mm bolts. There's the whole pattern, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 3 10mm bolts. And they pop when you take them off because they're been in there. Mine were been in there a while. And then just make sure you clean all this up just with a rag. Don't wash or anything. It'll drip out of all these packs for weeks. Okay, I'm gonna go over my new parts. I'm not pulling that oily one out, but if you watch the video very closely, that has 3 holes. It looks just like it. Put that O-ring on there. Yeah, make sure that's on there. Oil that up a little bit with the old oil before you stick it on there, or it's gonna roll off because it's rubber on metal and it's whatever. And to drain this oil quicker, just run your tranny for a while, go around the block or something. There's a new gasket. That was like 13 bucks. There is a more expensive one, but it's a different shape. Don't think you're getting more for more money. It's actually a different shape, different hole pattern. It's gonna fit on there perfect. I think I'm gonna put gray RTV sealant on it. If you guys use sealant, I use gray. I know there's blue and black and all that different stuff. This is the brand I like. I don't know where I ended up with that. It's from AutoZone. I've never had a problem with it doing water pumps or any of that stuff. I let it sit for about an hour before I do it. I may put a thin coat on it, especially where that one is. I don't want to fix it yet, and I can fix it with this on there. There is supposed to be 2 magnets. There's 2 little things to keep it still. That's what it looks like cleaned up. Just use a rag. Water ain't gonna take it off, and if you use your fingers, it's gonna get into gonna get really dirty. And that's before and after. It seems like it's been serviced because there wasn't really that much on it, but when I bought it, I just didn't like the color of the oil. And yeah, this is normal stuff. This is CVTs don't have clutches as far as I know. Well, clutches and gears and all that. So it's going to be different, but if you see like big chunks and all that, because it's a belt that runs my tranny, mine, I don't know what your guys's are. Yeah, if you see big chunks in here or like filler gauge looking things, that's your parking brake sometimes. I don't know if they, I don't know. I own American stuff, but sometimes your parking brake will be like different little flabs or whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna clean that up and clean the gasket off there. I was gonna show you the gasket scraper I use. They have different ones. These are alright, but when you start peeling it, the thing gets, come on, focus. The stuff gets off and gets caught in there. Kind of sucks. This one's perfect. That's for scraping down, and then if you're pulling back against it, here's that one. See, it kind of angles so you can get down. I'm going to use both of them and take all that off. You may have to spray it with like WD-40 or something. Try not to get it on the tranny. That way it moistens that thing up, because mine looks like a stinking burn on there. Okay, I got the filter back on. I didn't know it when I pulled it out. I guess I was doing it blind, but here's a bolt, 10mm. Back there's a bolt. They're both about that tall. And then there's one right there.
That one's about that long. That one has to go there, and it feels like it's barely threaded in. And the bad part about my video, I don't know the torque specs on any of these, any of these bolts. Because when I went to get the Haynes manual, which normally tells you the torques, and my owner manual is missing on my car, it wouldn't even tell you anyways. They don't make a manual for this car. I know this Tranny's in other vehicles, but I would rather have one on a car, because if I rebuild the engine or something, I want to know the torques on that whole thing. To me, the car ain't even worth if I was to rebuild it. It's just my everyday driver. Now to my new parts. That came right off. I pried on the inside against this and it just popped off. It feels metal. It's not. It's not laced with metal. It's nothing. It's just a really dried out one, and I'm surprised it wasn't leaking because it originally was this. So it's been on there a while. There's what they look brand new. I cleaned all that out. I could clean it better, but I'm going to have it off in a couple days. Probably Healy coil in that. You can go to AutoZone, buy Healy coil. They're about 40 bucks. Most likely buy the most expensive Healy coil because they make extra Healy coils for you. You need the actual tool to screw it in, and it's a little, hold on, I actually got, here's actually the Healy coil from AutoZone, lifetime warranty. It's nice. Comes with a, right, okay, there's no coils in here. This was to do a Super Duty, and the Napas looks like that. Healy coils, pack them. You've got to have that tool. You don't necessarily need the drill bit, but you got to look back here to see what drill bit you need. They have a cheaper kit that don't have the drill bit. Make sure you get the right thread. You have to have this. That's what re-threads everything. And the instructions are really simple. You can do it with the pan on it, but I'm not saying you'll even break a bolt, but them bolts are really small. There's my bead I put around it. It's very thin. I just don't feel like doing this ever again. And then you just put the gasket on there. I put down the phone. And it's going in. This also helps it so it doesn't like move around when you're putting it on. Because now when you move it, come on, focus. This won't move. I'm going to put another bead clear around that and then install it. I put a bead clear around it. The only reason I'm going over like this is because I live in Indiana, and I'm going to California tomorrow, and this car's got to get me there. So hopefully it doesn't leak putting it on. You don't have to do this, I guess, but like water pumps come with the same gasket. It's just felt, and a water pump isn't the easiest thing to change sometimes, and I put them on before and the water pump leaked. This stuff's great. You can get blue, whatever. I go with gray. Blue is just, you can see it once you're done with the job, and if I ever go to sell the car, I really don't want the blue to look everywhere and be like, oh, it don't stay blue, it goes black. But yeah, now I'm going to install it. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I go over everything. But most of the time when you're doing an automatic transmission, there is a torque converter. I don't have the Haynes manual, but I'm sure behind that is a torque converter. I'm also told there could be clutches in these, 2 clutches. But actually, I'll just pop that off real quick. There is a torque converter. Oh, yeah, that's the torque converter. Looks like the flywheel will be in the way. I'm not cranking it over. I could care less about getting out that. It don't look like it would be easy to drain because it would fill up this pocket. It wouldn't shoot out, but most of the time you can drain your torque converter. That don't really look serviceable to me, and I've done a lot of them. You can try it, but I don't feel like cranking over this engine. I'm frustrated enough with that. But yeah, you can normally get a couple more cord out. I don't know in a 4-cylinder. All I've owned is 6 and 8s. But I don't know the torques on these, so I'm just going to tighten them not very tight, but not too tight because they break off. And they feel very cheap putting them back in. This is my first foreign car I've owned, and I don't quite like how cheap that part feels. But everything's nice under here. You can change anything you want. But yeah, I knew somebody would ask about the torque converter, and there is an access hole. Doesn't look like you could really get to the torque converter, and if it did, it would drain into that, and then it would drain everywhere. So I don't think it's serviceable. I've never seen somebody say it's serviceable, and I've never even seen a video. That's why I'm making this one. Everybody's video is just drain the oil and put it back in, or take it somewhere and get it flushed, which isn't right because that filter needs changed. Okay, I got all the bolts on. Make sure you tighten them all, and then tighten them a second time just a little bit, because they may loosen up another spot while you tighten another one. Right here's where the stick is. Don't forget to the drain plug to tighten that back up too. That was a 19mm. That's where mine's at. Out of the whole engine. That's my engine and everything. And pull it out. My engine's like kind of warm right now. Tranny's probably warm too, but I'm still gonna put 4 quarts in it and see it where I go from there. It says only use genuine crap. It's because they want your money. Take that out. I think it does have a cold spot on it. Let me look. I'm gonna put 4 quarts in it anyways, and then probably put the extra half in, because I was told 4.5 quart. Cold and hot. So I'd say the bottom rib's cold and the top rib's hot. If you bought genuine fluid, it should be green, but it's 20 bucks a quart. Amazon has it, and you can get 5 quarts, which makes me think this really is 5 quarts, but I filled that up, plus that much more again. Seems like more than 4 quarts for $120, I think. This is what I got from Advanced Auto that says it covers it. I don't know what color it is. We'll have to see. It just looks like motor oil. And it's kind of green. I guess it's got a little bit of a coat of green on it. I'm going to put 4 quarts of this in there. And if it's cold outside and you're doing this, your dipstick hopefully isn't freezing cold, and this like freezes up going in there, because, well, it's straight down, so you shouldn't have a problem. I've had it where it froze up going in there, especially when you put Lucas in there. I put Lucas in normal vehicles, but Lucas does great. It fixes slippage and all that, but Lucas, as of right now, I don't think has something for CVT trannies. It's a special tranny, so don't be putting that crap in there. But it does work really good on regular, and I put it in engine oil too when it knocks and all that. The Dodge Neons and 3/8 and all that, whatever knocks, it does great. Brings up the oil pressure. But I'm gonna get every drip out of there because I think it's more than 5 quarts.